Hello everybody, this is Miss Chong. Today we're going to learn about calm lines. We've already spent a couple weeks talking about lines, so you should be a little bit familiar about what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going a little bit more in depth with lines. This lesson introduces vertical and horizontal lines. Artists use vertical and horizontal lines to create a feeling of calm. Calm lines are used to create landscapes. Okay, so today's goals or objectives are to recognize that a landscape is a picture of the outdoors, creative expression to paint a calm landscape with vertical and horizontal lines, to locate vertical and horizontal lines in art and the environment, and to evaluate one's own artwork using the 4 steps of art criticism. So some vocabulary for this lesson is horizontal, which means from side to side, vertical, which means up and down, and landscape, a picture of the outdoors. So we're going to take a look at some landscape photos and talk and think about that. So I want you to think about what kinds of trees grow where you live. And what does the ground look like where you live? Do you think the trees and the plants create a peaceful setting? Now we're going to look at these 2 paintings over here. So we have this painting over here by the artist named Wolf Kahn, which was created in 1998, and this painting, which was created by the Dutch artist Piet Mondrian, which was created in 1914. So let's look at the paintings on this slide. These paintings look calm and quiet. Let's study both works of art to find different lines. Which way do you think the lines go in these paintings? So we have lines that go side to side, which we said was horizontal, and then we also have lines that go up and down, which we know is called vertical. Same with this painting over here. We have trees that have vertical lines, and then we have the ground that's horizontal. These artists made paintings to show their feelings. How do you think they felt about the world around them based on these images and the lines that they used? Kahn's paintings show the calm and peaceful feeling that he has outdoors. So why does a landscape have a calm feeling? Because no action is happening in the picture, so it is quiet and still. Vertical and horizontal lines are calm because they represent stabilities. The trees will remain vertical and the ground will remain horizontal. Now let's look at this picture. Try to figure out if you think it is a landscape or not. I'll give you a second just to think about that. So the painting is not a landscape, but it still has calm vertical and horizontal lines. The picture looks like a brick wall, which represents stability, just like the trees and the ground did in this picture. Have you ever visited a forest or another place like the one in the landscape? Now I'm going to invite you to think about how this landscape might look different if it was painted in the spring, summer, autumn, or winter. So if the season was different, how would this painting look different? Now we're going to talk about how we use calm lines in artwork. So how do artists use calm lines? Artists use vertical and horizontal lines to make a picture look calm. Calm lines are used to make a landscape or a picture of the outdoors. So what you should do to practice vertical and horizontal lines is to stand as vertically as you can. Think about how you feel when you're standing vertically. Now lie on the ground like a horizontal line and be very still. Did it make you feel calm when you made each kind of line? Now it's your turn to create. How can you show your favorite outdoor place? So you are going to start your landscape with calm lines. Remember, we said calm lines were horizontal and vertical. And you can add other lines to complete your picture. And lastly, fill the page. So if we look at this image here, this person started off with their calm lines. They have their vertical and then they have their horizontal. And then they added in all the other details to fill in the page. Same with this student here that completed this landscape. If you need some inspiration, here are some pictures of some landscapes from an exhibition from Florida State University. Some photographers took some pictures of some landscape artwork or some landscape that they saw outside. So I figured I'd put these here for you guys to look at for inspiration. And if you'd like to view more, you can go to this link right here to look at some more pictures, or you can look up pictures of landscapes. When you are trying to figure out what your favorite outdoor place is, you can look up some different landscape art to give you some inspiration. So I'll leave some up here for you guys to look at. As you can see, there's many different landscapes you can look at. So we have the beach, we have mountains, we have a little ranch here, a bridge. So think about what your favorite landscape is, and remember to make it original, and remember to use your calm lines and to fill the whole space on your paper. When you are done, I want you to think about these questions to analyze and criticize your artwork. So let's look at describe here. What did you include in your landscape? Analyze. What line directions did you use? Interpret. What season did you show? How can you tell? Decide. Did you use vertical and horizontal lines to make your landscape? Is this a place you would like to go for a quiet time? So when you create your artwork, I want you to think about these questions while you're doing it. Remember to be creative and remember to have fun with it. You may use any materials that you would like to complete this project, and then you will be turning it in. So I wanted to include this video called Using Lines with Paint so I can show you guys different painting techniques with different lines, and to show you some painting procedures and safety so that we don't make too big of a mess when we're using paint. So we're going to start off watching this video where it shows you how to use paint and how to handle your materials properly.
Spill. Today we're going to learn how to paint. Now, paint can be very messy if you're not careful. So Mrs. Davidson has a lot of special rules about how to use our paintbrush, our bucket of water, and our paint set so that we don't get too messy. The first thing you need to know about painting is you have to be very gentle with your brush. Whenever you paint, you want to make sure that your brush stays nice and pointy like this. We call this having a good hair day. So whenever you paint on your paper, we're gonna paint gently like so that it stays pointy. If you start to push hard with your brush, you can see how it starts to have all its bristles, all its little hairs, go every which way. That's called having a bad hair day. That will happen if you push too hard. So if you're gentle, it should stay nice and pointy just like this. Another thing, when you are cleaning off your brush in your water bucket, you want to very gently brush the bottom of the bucket, and then we do not get water off like this. If you bang your brush on the water bucket, it could accidentally spill, or little drips of water could fly off of your brush and get on someone else's artwork. So if you need to get water off your brush, we go like this. We brush it on the side gently, or we wipe it on our towel. Now that we know to use our brush gently, we're going to get some practice painting on our line paper that we made a little while ago. So you can use whatever colors you want on your line paper. Let's say that I want to start with red. If I want to start with red, I'm going to take my brush and dip it in the water, and I'm going to put some drops of water into this paint to make it work. It won't work if it's dry. And you can see Miss Davidson is getting a lot of drips. I had to go in the water a lot of times. Now when it has a little wet puddle, I can take my brush and gently give the paint a little tickle. Just a little tickle. My brush is still pointy. You don't want to push hard because then that brush isn't going to be pointy anymore. Just gentle. Now, after you have gently tickled the paint, we can take our red color and we can start painting wherever we want that color to go. I think I'm going to paint inside my loop-de-loop line. If I run out of paint, I can just get more. Making sure my brush is still pointy the whole time. Remember, if you push too hard, it's going to start to have a bad hair day and Miss Davidson might have to take your brush away. So just paint with the tip gently. Now, if I want to change colors of paint, I cannot put my red paintbrush into a new color. I have to clean off the red paint first, otherwise my paints will all get very dirty. So I'm going to brush the bottom of the bowl, just like we talked about earlier. Wipe that brush off, and maybe even use my towel. Now I'm ready to choose my next color. I think I'm going to choose green. So let's put some new drops into the green with my nice clean brush. Give it a gentle tickle on the edge here. Gentle, gentle, keeping it pointy. And then I'm going to gently paint a new area of my paper with just the tip of my brush. If I push down hard, then that's not going to give me a good hair day. You might notice there's a little silver part on your brush. That silver part should never touch the paper. Only the very tip of your brush touches the paper. Miss Davidson will be checking for that the whole time today, but you can check yourself too. Another good way to tell if you're painting gently is if your brush is painting quietly. If your brush isn't making any noise, that means you're being gentle. If it's making a scraping sound like this, psh, 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 that means you're scrubbing too hard. And when you're ready to change colors, you can clean your brush again. And I'm just going to keep on painting until I fill all the white space on my paper.
Okay, so that video helped us understand how we should better handle our paint and our paintbrushes. That way they last us a very long time. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to make different lines with your paint and paintbrushes. That way you can give yourself a different variety of different lines whenever you are creating your landscape artwork. Okay, so you can create light lines by adding more water to your watercolor paints or dark lines by using less water. You can create thin lines by holding the brush vertically to the paper and touching the paper lightly with the tip of the brush. And you can create thick lines by beginning with a thin line and slowly pressing the brush down and then pull it up again to make it thinner. So those are just some ways to make different lines. This would work really well if you were making trees with different branches. So the trunk of a tree could be thicker and then your brushes or your branches could become thinner. To submit your assignment, you will go to Assignments at the top of our Teams page. You'll click Calm Lines Landscape Projects. And then you should get something that looks like this. So these are the written instructions, but I'm going to walk you through how to submit your assignment with a photo. So you're going to click in the area below number 8. So I have to click this on my end, but you don't have to do that. So you're going to click below number 8 so that your cursor starts blinking right underneath the number 8. Then you're going to click Insert. Then you're going to click Picture from Camera. Then your camera should pop up, and then you're going to click this purple camera button. Then you're going to click Insert. Then you're going to click Close. And then you should get a button over here that says Turn In. It doesn't say it on my end because I have it on the teacher view, but for you guys it should say Turn In right here, and that's how you will turn in your assignment.